Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Tuesday, June 21st. It's officially the first day of market open for this week due to the holiday. I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick, then we can get started with our session for this morning. So a couple of things here to update. It's good. It's good. A couple more things right here. Should be good to go. All right, solid. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. There we go. All right. All right, looks good. I'll give it a few minutes for people to make their way in, and then we'll get started with our analysis for this morning. So as people join the room, I'm going to go ahead and mark up the liquidity here. So there goes the 1 hour. Now the market's kind of stabilized a little bit. It provides us liquidity on the 1 hour, so you don't have to go too far off on the time frames. All right, so that looks good. 30-minute. Looks good. 15-minute. There. 10-minute. There. Five-minute, and then the 1 minute, we should be good. So there goes the five-minute, lastly the 1 minute, and I think that's about it. So got that marked up right there. It looks solid, looks good. Cool. All right, so all right, there goes everything right there for the liquidity on the lower time frames. Looks like half you guys are here now, so I'll get a few minutes for people to make their way in. So good morning, Surin. Good morning, Kenny. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Fahad. Good morning, Vince. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Purity. Good morning, Funmi. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning, iPad. Good morning, Steven. Good morning, Eduardo. Good morning, Jez. Good morning, Nikhil. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jonathan. Good morning, Marco. All right, guys, so happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, June 21st. Just a reminder, we're coming back from a long holiday weekend. Monday was off as the markets are closed here in the US. So just be careful on open, guys, because you're probably going to see some unusual spikes of volatility due to the obvious fact that, market's been open. It's barely opening from a 4-day weekend. So, or 3-day weekend. So we're probably going to see a flood of orders come in as soon as market opens in the next 5 minutes. So currently right now at 6:25, market's going to open in about 5 minutes. Looking over here at the bias currently right now, it is 69% long, indicating that we should be looking for sells here with regard to retail sentiment. looking over here at the fundamentals, are currently very bullish right now. So there's no overall bias. The fundamentals are indicating a buy, while the retail sentiment is indicating a sell. So with that said, we don't have an overall bias here. If we do have a breakout, I'll confirm what the direction will be. Currently, right now, it is a buy, but when the market gets closer to opening time, it might shift to a sell. So I'll let you guys know. I'll put the requirements here for the breakout. However, I don't know if I'll be taking the breakout due to the obvious fact that we don't have a clear direction with regard to bias. Typically, that's going to be the second requirement here. It's not required, it's optional, but I use it as required for my analysis of the breakout. If we see something really good, then I'll possibly take a partial move for the breakout. I'm not going to take the full move. The only time I take a full move is when all of the requirements here are fully met. Morning, Shannon. Morning, everybody. Let's see. Question from Peter. Peter's asking, high impact news at open, does that affect breakout? Yeah, it does. It's on open. Let's see. I don't see anything here on open, Peter. I see there's news at 7, but it's not at open. Open is at 6:30. So we have 30 minutes between open and the news price. So we should be perfectly fine. I don't know if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything here on actual open. It's at 7 o'clock. Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, Peter said he was looking at tomorrow. Okay, yeah, no, that's going to affect the market, obviously. Any news events affects market. Yeah, Powell's going to be speaking tomorrow, so that will 100% affect the market. It's high impact, like very high impact. It's not just normal impact, it's super impact with Powell speaking tomorrow. So yes, that will affect the breakout, and I won't be taking the breakout tomorrow if that becomes the case. So it's 6:27 right now. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes, guys. We do have a sell momentum here, so we're now looking for a sell for the breakout. There's no sessions that are nearby, so we'll see how that goes. I don't think there's any news coming up either, aside from the one at 7 o'clock. So I'll be marking that up right over here so that we're aware. But I believe other than that, we should be good to go. Hey, Rashida, morning. All right, guys. So if you guys are just joining the room, we'll go back and relook at the sentiment. So the overall, or not the overall, but the retail sentiment is currently 69% long, indicating that we should be looking for sells. Looking over here at the fundamentals, are currently bullish, 420 points. So there's not going to be an alignment or correlation with regard to overall bias. They're both telling opposite things. Fundamentals are telling us to take a buy. Retail sentiment telling us to take a sell. Overall, I think price is going to come down. But from now until then, there can be a lot of back and forth movements. You want to be very careful if you're looking to take any trades here. Typically, if you want to take any of the trades officially, like official with all the requirements met, you need to confirm the bias. But there's no bias, and I don't think there's going to be a bias today, maybe not until tomorrow. But for now, for this breakout, we currently have a sell momentum. Market's going to open in about 2 minutes. So when the market does open, if you're going to disregard the second requirement here with regard to overall bias, you can still take the breakout. You're just looking for a strong red candle after open, which is going to happen in about 1 minute. The reason why we're looking for a sell is because we have a sell momentum here. So look for entry after New York Stock Exchange open at 6:30 a.m. Confirm bias, which is optional but highly recommended, which is why I use it. That's why if I do take the trade here, I'm going to be taking it for a partial move, not the full move. Third, you want to confirm the direction of momentum. We have a sell momentum there. Fourth, you want to confirm a strong candle in the direction of momentum. So in order to confirm that, you need to see a red candle with little to no wick on the bottom side. Once we have that, you can enter for the breakout. But this can easily shift on open. So the market is opening in 20 seconds, guys. And we will see where this goes. As Steven said, okay, Sean, please let me know when you enter the breakout. Steven, you got to pay attention, okay? Because I always let you know. So just make sure that you're paying attention and listening. So you got to actually listen and pay attention because the breakout happens too fast. So with this right here, we currently have a bullish momentum signal. So if this closes as a strong green candle, this would technically be the breakout entry. Not one that I'm looking to take because I typically go in the direction of Sentiment is currently indicating a sell. So if we get a strong green candle here, this will possibly be the breakout. But I probably won't be taking it for one reason as well, is because it's right at the sessions right there. So in order for us to shift back to a sell, we need to have a momentum signal for a sell, which we don't have right now. But here are the red flags. Hey, all morning. All right, so price is coming back down. In order for us to get a sell, though, we need to have a sell momentum signal. So if this closes with a sell momentum signal, this would technically be the breakout. However, one thing that you want to be careful for is obviously the candle size. It's too big. So no sell signal yet. This may be the breakout, but this candle is going to be pretty huge. So you might want to wait for, or not yet. Looks like it's still trying to figure its way out. We need a sell signal in order for us to take a sell here. Or else if we get a strong green candle, that would technically be the breakout for a buy instead. So this right here might actually be a buy instead. Let's see how it closes. But again, it's going to be right at the sessions right there. So I don't think it'd be a safe trade to take, my opinion. So if this candle here closes as a strong green candle, this would technically be the breakout, not one that I plan on taking. So this right here is a breakout. I think it's a bit risky because it's getting close to the sessions right here. So personally, I'm not going to take the trade. I'm just marking it up to show you guys. If you guys are looking for breakout examples, this would technically be the breakout, but a couple of the red flags right here are: one, the candle here is too big. And two, it's getting near the sessions. So it's just too risky of a move. I wouldn't take it. I'm not taking it. I'll just watch it. I'll see. And you can see right here, this is why price is pulling back. This candle here is too big. If you guys sat in on the previous mentoring sessions, you guys know if the candle there is too big, typically price will come back down. It'll retrace to either the halfway mark of the candle or the full candle before correcting, or it can just completely reverse. So this is the halfway mark. You can see right there where price kind of wicked off. It's coming back down lower. It's just not a safe trade to take. So I'm not taking it. I mean, we'll kind of follow it and we'll see where it goes. But there's just a lot of red flags here. It's too close to the sessions and the candle there is too big, so it's due for retracement. Let me see where the fundamentals are now sitting. The fundamentals are actually, they're still green. They're up 415 points, so they're up very heavily. I'm tempted to catch like 100 pips or so if it does come back up, but it doesn't really look like a good trade. So I'm not really looking to take anything here. Let me take a look at the heat map. The heat map here is completely green. So as you guys can see, there's a big discrepancy as to like the direction of price because the fundamentals here are very bullish. However, the retail sentiment here is indicating a sell. So you're going to get a lot of this back and forth movement. I would probably just sit out this breakout. As you can see, that there's no clear direction. Typically, the breakout will push its direction within the first couple of minutes or so. And right now, it's kind of just going back and forth. Gosh, yeah, Kodi also confirmed that it was on opening price. Thanks for confirming that, Kodi. Let me go ahead and mark up the opening price right here. So opening price, it's right there. As you guys can see, it's coming back down. This is exactly why I didn't want to take it. There's just too many red flags here. If there's more than one red flag, I for sure am not going to take it. Also, if there's no bias, I'm not going to take it as well. So there was no bias here. Well, there was and you guys can see how like tricky it's moving, right? You guys can see the huge wick right here. I wouldn't want to get caught in this move because I'd probably be stressed out if I was in this position right here. So whenever there's like one red flag, I typically won't take it. If there's two red flags, I for sure won't take it. So there was two big red flags here. Also, there was no bias. So that's why I didn't take this trade here. You can see this is a good reason why not to. And also it's the first day from a long weekend. So you're going to see a lot of this weird movement here on open. I think overall price will come back down. It's just going to be a matter of time until it does. And that's why I'm looking for sells here. I'm just looking for price to bounce around and make its way back in the direction that we want it to. You can see that spike right back up right there. I'd be stressed, like, you know, this would definitely stress someone out. That's why I personally wouldn't want to take trades if my requirements are not met. Right now, requirements are definitely not met. So if I see price push back up, push back down, push back up, push back down, it's just a messy, movement right now. So I'm just going to take this stuff off, guys, so we can start looking for other trades. Let me just take everything off because we're not in this position here. I'll keep looking back at it, but I want to mark up liquidity here to identify if there's any other possible entries for us to take as price continues to move along here. So as price pushes up, we're looking for price to make its way back down. The only problem with the issue with the market right now is that we don't have an overall bias, so we can't even take any variations if we wanted to. So as I mentioned earlier, guys, we have, you know, variations V1, V2. The first requirement is to confirm the overall bias. We can't confirm the overall bias right now because the fundamentals are up so high. They're up 415 points. The heat map is completely green. However, the retail sentiment is currently 69% long. So in order for us to take buys in the direction of the fundamentals, we need the retail sentiment to be on the opposite side. So we need this to be 69% short so that we can do the opposite of everybody, but still trade in the proper direction. Right here, everyone's technically looking to buy. Seems like a lot of people are trying to buy the dip because of the big drops last week, but price isn't necessarily done dipping. So I wouldn't necessarily chase that dip with majority of people because it seems like a lot of these people are going to get burnt probably this whole week, realistically, because we do have Powell speaking tomorrow. He's typically good for the economy, but he's going to be updating us on the recession and whatnot. So that's going to heavily impact the market, obviously. So yeah, Mauricio said best to grab an espresso for now. Yeah, and that's probably best, you know, step away from it. Don't FOMO into this breakout. Technically, the breakout is still running, guys, if you guys were following it, but it's not one that I would personally take myself or recommend anyone necessarily take because you can see price isn't doing anything. It's just going sideways. See, Jonathan said the day after a long week in the market moves a bit weird. Yeah, no, exactly. Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go on the higher time frames, or here I'll just mark. I'll leave the breakout entry here just so that you guys can follow it if you guys are still in it. It's currently in profit right now, but it's not one that I'm in or that I'm planning on even hopping into for any sort of push. But I'll leave this up right here so that you guys can follow it. As we leave this up, I'm going to mark up the liquidity on the higher time frame. So I'm going to go over here to the 10-minute. I'm going to mark up liquidity from the daily down to the 10-minute. Yeah. 4-hour. It's 2-hour. One-hour. More liquidity here on the bottom side. 30-minute. Minute. $10-minute. And that's about it. All right, so looking over at the 10-minute price is pushing up. Going back to the 1 minute over here, it broke right through and hit the full TP. So if you guys take the breakout, congrats to you. You like withstood some massive drawdown before it pushed into full TP. Not the type of stress that I want to be in to kick off the trading week. So I did not take this at all. But as you guys can see, the breakout still works perfectly fine. It just depends on your risk parameters. If you can handle the stress and the risk, you can still profit from this. It got really close to stop loss right here. It didn't hit the stop loss, but it pushed right back up to the full TP. So if you guys took the breakout here, congrats to you for having that solid mindset. I couldn't do it myself. So, I mean, great work to whoever caught it. I don't know if anyone took it. Looks like, let's see. What's the name of the indicator, please? Think it's cool. Let's see, David over here. He actually took a sell. David took a sell, locked in 1740. Nice work, David. I don't think anyone here took the breakout. If you guys did, you guys can post your profits. But for me personally, I would not have taken it. Let's see, Rick said, yeah, Miriam said I didn't have the lever. No, same here, I didn't either. Rick said I'm still in at 30,000, 30,000 at 337. So Rick actually got in here for a discount and held on to it. So you're up in profit, probably about 700 pips now, if not more, 800 pips, Rick. So nice work. But Rick's a different type of breed. You guys know Rick. The stuff like this does not phase Rick. So yeah, not too bad. I mean, that's still not bad, Rick, because if you're up 850 pips times 2 lots, you're currently in profit 1,700. So it's pretty good. Anyways, nice work, Rick. Other than that, let's see what else we've got over here. Price has now pushed up pretty heavily. Looking over here at the fundamentals, they're currently up almost 500 points. So it's a huge recovery right here. This is fine, guys. I don't mind if price pushes up like this. I actually want price to push up so that by tomorrow, we're going to have all the space here to take sells. This would technically be a V3 building up right here, not one that would fit the requirements because there's no overall bias. But if there was a sell bias, this would technically be a V3. But it's not going to because there's no overall bias right there. But for me personally, I wouldn't be surprised if price ends up coming right back down to opening price. This would be the target because there's no clear direction here. As I showed you guys earlier, price can really go up or it can go down. It can go either direction, wherever it really wants to go. But I wouldn't be surprised if it does come back down and retest the opening price right here. It's just, there's just no direction. Price can go in either way. So looking at this right here, let me see if there's any other markups here for me to look at. So right there, no overall bias. We can't take the V3, unfortunately, but it looks like it would be a pretty nice move. Going over here back to the 10-minute, looks like it attempted to hit liquidity right there. It did hit liquidity. See how far this gap is. It's kind of a far gap though. Let's push it up a bit closer. So I would be looking here on the 10-minute for this area of liquidity because we do have liquidity right there above. It was too far initially. I'd probably wait for it to push back up. So I'm looking for possible retracement to the downside, come back up for the retest. Once it retests, it'll probably blast right through it for that second attempt. Going back to the 1 minute over here, you can see price is now making its way back down. This is obviously a huge overextended push, and it is now pushing down even further. Yeah, Rick said everything's green, no reason it should drop. I mean, the main thing would be the retail sentiment, right? That push to the upside was just a manipulated push. They're trying to lure in buyers because right now it's at 69%. They want buyers to hop in even deeper. And then as they hop in, you can see people are now getting stopped out because this is why you don't fall for this move here. This push up here is just a lure. It was a lure to have more people buy in. Basically, people who bought the dip here, they wanted more people to buy in. As soon as people got into that trade, they dropped it right back down and stopped everybody out. So it's just all manipulation, obviously. But Rick is correct. There's no reason for it to drop because the stock index is completely green, right? It's up 451 points. The heat map over here is all green. And that's the reason why I follow sentiment, because this here is just temporary. Like fundamentals, this is temporary because this resets pretty much every day. Like once the day restarts tomorrow, it's going to be back at zero, right? The sentiment here doesn't reset. It changes as traders move from buy to sell. So that's why I always look at retail sentiment first and the fundamentals next. But in order to have like that full confirmation, it would be best if both of them lined up, right? So like right now, this is indicating a sell. This is indicating a buy. Short-term wise, yeah, maybe a buy. But you can see from the chart over here, price is coming, it came all the way back down. So this is why you don't want to get caught in the manipulation, because it doesn't really matter which direction you're trading. If you're following the sell here, or if you're following the retracement, you can get burnt again right here because price just swung right back up. So if you chase the buy here, you would have gotten burnt because you probably would have been stopped out. Price dropped about 700 pips. If you took the sell right here, you might have gotten burnt again because price swung back up, about 400 pips. So either way, if you chased it for the buy or you chased it for the sell, you could have easily gotten stopped out. That's why I'm just sitting on my hands right now. I'm basically just waiting for something to really come up. One thing that you guys got to keep in mind is that, patience is really key here. I know a lot of these moves here will make you want to FOMO into a move or just chase, the push to the upside or push to the downside. That's probably the worst way to do it, unless you have some sort of bias or you know which direction to be trading in. Right now, we don't really have a direction. And let me go over here to the clean chart. So I'm going to go over here and mark up the liquidity here. And I'll just show you guys, what I mean by that, because it's harder to see when the chart's all marked up. But when the chart is actually pretty clean, it's easy to see how there's no real direction in the market. So I'm just going to mark up the 1 minute right here and mark up opening price, which is right there. I'm also going to mark up opening time 6:30. We have news again right here at 7. So we'll color this blue. This over here. And then I'll turn this stuff off now. All right, so as you guys can see right here, it's easier to see on the cleaner chart because you can see how the movement's really pushing through. Like for example, right here, market opened here at 6:30. You had a fake out to the downside, price pushed up, another fake out to the upside, price pushed down. And now price is currently in a range. It's just a big range, right? This high, this low, price is just going sideways. So with that said, there really isn't a clear direction. Like you're not having a push to the upside, little retracement, and continued push, right? Typically, this would be the direction if that was the case. But currently right here, price pushed up, then it came back down. And at this point, you really don't know which direction price will be going because price is really just going sideways until it comes down to test the opening price right here. So we'll see. Shannon's asking, is the push up considered a liquidity push? Which one are you referring to, Shannon? So I'm not sure which one. I mean, there was a lot of liquidity pushes right here. Like there was one, right here, if this is what you're talking about, or not this one, they're too wide apart. If you're talking about this right here, then yes, this was a liquidity push right there, but it's already done with. So if you took the trade right there for a liquidity push from that lower level, it would have hit your TP already right there, 100 pips. So yes, that would be a liquidity push right there. Other than that, that's the only liquidity push that I can see from here. This was too wide. This is too wide as well. If price pushes up higher, then yes, this would be another area of liquidity push again right there, possibly. But nothing right now. Yeah, no problem, Shannon. See if there's anything else right here that we're missing. I mean, there's not really much going on. Price still hasn't come back to opening price yet, but it's going back and forth. Here on the 10-minute, one thing that you could look out for is a liquidity push right here as well. The liquidity pushes work on all time frames. So you're just going to get a bigger push here. So if price does come back up to this price point, which is 30,430, this will probably push up even higher, but it's not there yet. All right, so let's see if there's anything else here. We have news coming up in about 9 minutes, guys. So you want to be a bit careful looking for any trades here. Looking back at the fundamentals, are still very bullish. They're up 455 points. Looking at the heat map, still very green. So heat map over here is pretty green. Coke over here turned red. Travelers turn red. 3M turn red. Looking over at the stock index over here, for the most part, everything's pretty much still green. A couple of stocks here that are a little red. United is up 11 points. Goldman Sachs up 5 points. Chevron up 5 points. Microsoft up 5 points. Apple up 5 points. Visa up 5 points. The only red stocks here would be Walt Disney, Coca-Cola, 3M, and Travelers, but they're not even down that much. They're down like, I don't know, barely anything. So sentiment over here still indicating a sell. So overall, I'm looking for a sell here, guys. But it's going to conflict with the fundamentals here. So the fundamentals are still bullish. So we'll see where this goes. You guys can see this pattern. This is the same pattern that came up pretty much for the past 3 weeks. Price creates a range between outside of the sessions or news price or something like that. Price is now pushing up higher. It's just gonna, it looks like price is starting to squeeze. So you can see this high and this low starting to get tighter. So this was the high. If price drops back down, yeah, this is gonna be the new high. So it's just gonna start squeezing and price is gonna keep getting, you know, tighter and tighter. When that happens, it's fine because it's just charging up for breakout. But we do have news coming up shortly, so we'll see how that affects the market. All right, so looking here on the clean chart, you guys can see where the levels are sitting. There's levels up here, levels down here. Price is currently just ranging sideways. Once we get that breakout in either direction, you can kind of anticipate where price is likely to go. Because if price breaks out to the downside, it's going to test these levels down here. If price breaks out to the upside, it's probably going to retest that area right there for liquidity. So we'll be ready for it. It's just there's no overall bias, so it's not really going to be beneficial for us. We can't take any variations. We can't take, I mean, there really isn't too much we can take right now because every strategy pretty much requires an overall bias. Yeah, Mauricio said, don't get seduced by this bear market rally. Strategist Veron says, yeah, and I agree. Mauricio, I'm definitely not looking for any bias here. I'm looking for price to come back down because I think eventually it's going to come back down. Price has been pretty bullish since market open from the weekend. So this is from the weekend, right? But one thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that the market was actually closed. This whole time market was closed. So this rally right here was just retail traders and smaller institutions that were pushing price up. But eventually I do see it coming right back down. So it might push up right now temporarily, but I think overall it'll drop back down, possibly by the time that Powell speaks tomorrow, because he will be going over the interest rates and whatnot. So that will affect the market, definitely. See this over here. All right, price is still pushing up. It's coming to that area that I marked up right here. The upper level of, I wouldn't consider this liquid, or maybe I would. Let's see, the volatility is kind of low. It's like about 100 pips. So I mean, technically, I could be maybe considered an area of liquidity. I think if something is closer like this right here, this would probably be better. This price starts to make its way down. So let's see. Yeah, we do have the news coming up right now shortly, in about 4 minutes. Rick's asking, so what are you going to do? Wait till the market drops. Well, in order for me to take a sell, that's what I'd have to wait for a bias, right? So I'm not looking for it to drop over 450 pip. I'm just looking for it to drop back to the red because it's still very green right now. Eventually it's going to drop back down, but you know, this is why I have consistency, because I actually look for a bias in the market. You know, like a lot of my trades and a lot of my profits, they're not erratic. They're not like, oh, I'm up like 1,000, then I'm down like 3,000, and then I get lucky and I'm back like in profit or at break even, right? For me, it's like a consistent rise up. Like the profit are just, not every day I'm taking trades, but consistently I'm making profit and just builds up from there. So, I mean, if you guys want to risk it, you guys are more than welcome. I know you're more than willing to risk it, Rick, but for me personally, I'm not looking to take any risk like that. You know, I look for my consistent moves. I look for my consistent profits. It's just, yeah, no, but exactly. So, I mean, you already knew the answer to it. So you asked, right? Because I look for everything as an overall bias. So in order for there to be an overall bias, I can't trade when price is up this high. So short answer to your question is yes, because it's impossible for me to take any trades for a bias if it doesn't come down. But yeah, I know, Maddie, right? It's impossible for me to take anything because there's no sentiment. I mean, there's sentiment, but there's no overall bias with regard to the fundamentals. So for me, I'm just waiting. If I don't have to, if I can't take any trades today, then that's fine. I'd rather wait and not have any losses than, you know, than risk it. Because realistically, if you guys take a loss, you're gonna be in a hole for the week, and that's definitely not where you want to be. I'd rather have little to no profit than be negative, you know, 3% of my account. Because if that's the case, then you're going to be playing catch up the entire week. So that area of liquidity, sorry, I just took it off. The area of liquidity here got hit, the one that I marked earlier, and it pushed up. If we did have sentiment in that direction, I would have taken it, but no, we didn't have it. So I did not take it. So if you guys took that liquidity push right there, that would be the liquidity that I marked up earlier. It's the same one that I was marking up over here, just not one that I'm looking to take because it's too overextended. If you guys want to look at the price over here, it's just way too overextended where price is currently at. So price is pushing up higher, but I'm expecting it to come back down. We do have news right here in about a minute, so I wouldn't want to get stuck in this, and then price ends up spiking right after the news comes out. Nice, nice. Yeah, so Kill over here took the liquidity push. He hit his TP, so nice work for Kill. And here we go, his price pushes back down. D said I caught the quick 100 pips, but not liking the risk right now. Yeah, exactly. If there was a news coming up, then I probably would have taken it with you guys as well, because I was looking for, these quicker pushes. Here's the thing, guys. When the sentiment and fundamentals don't match, so if there's no overall bias, you could technically take these liquidity pushes in both directions, because it's just a small little move of 100 pips. So this is literally all you're aiming for when you're taking these liquidity pushes. So if you're taking a liquidity push for a sell here, it's easy for you to just hit your TP. Same with the buys here. If you're looking for a buy here, you can easily get in and out within 100 pips. The only problem is people get greedy and they try to catch it for like the bigger move. And that's where you get screwed, because right here, if you took that liquidity push and you didn't pull out at 100 pips, price just pulled way back down right here about 400 pips, right? So that's why you got to be careful with these entries here. If you guys do take the liquidity pushes, you have to make sure to pull out right away, or else you're going to get caught in possible retracement. So here goes the news price right there. I'm going to mark that up as pink. I'm going to take this off the chart. And then we have the high right here. So there we go. As price swings back down. And this is why I'm not chasing any of these moves. So this is kind of like what I was just talking about with Rick. Like, you can get lucky taking these buys here, but eventually I do expect price to, come back down, because the sentiment, they're basically just luring in buyers, guys. So right now it's 69% long. Let me see if there's any more. It's still there. It hasn't really changed. So it seems like a lot of other people are just being patient as well. It's been 69% all morning. So pretty much whoever has been in those buys, they're just holding on to it. They're like long-term holds or intraday holds. There's just no, there's no real catalyst pushing price to the upside or pushing price to the downside. Looking over at CNBC, I don't think there was any updates here for anything as well. I mean, for the most part, all of the indexes here are green. Dow's up 500 points, S&P's up 86 points, Nasdaq's up 312 points, Russell 2K is up 18 points, and the VIX is currently down less than a point. So with that said, everything here is pretty much bullish. I think it's just a temporary push to the upside until tomorrow when Powell speaks. The news from today was neutral, it looks like. Existing home sales are just right down the middle. It's pretty neutral. I think today market is just setting up for tomorrow, because Powell is going to be speaking tomorrow. He's definitely going to shake up the market. And then on Thursday, we have unemployment claims, which is going to be higher. So I think the economy's, we're going to a recession. So the unemployment claims are going to go higher as people are getting laid off. We have flash PMI, flash services PMI, basically inflation news tomorrow as well. So this news here is not going to be good. Obviously, you guys already know that, right? The employment claims are going to be high. Inflation is going to increase. Powell's going to be giving the heads up tomorrow. So I think today is just, the market is setting up for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Fed member Bullard is going to speak on Friday as well. So I see price just getting propped up today. And then I think tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, price is going to come all the way back down, because it's not good for the economy. I don't know. I do know, but then I also don't know why price is going up. Price is going up because it's just, it's just getting propped up right now as we wait for it to make its way back down. You can see it better here on the higher time frame. So like here on the 10-minute, you can kind of see where it's kind of pushing up a little bit. But if you go over here to like not even the hour, like the 4-hour, price is still technically in downtrend, right? So you can see right here on the 4-hour, you can see it better, that price is still dropping. Like, this is just pushing up slightly for the past couple of days, but we do expect it to come back down as the recession gets worse and worse. So I'm just waiting for it to come back down, because you guys can see here, price will get propped up for a bit, then it'll just come crashing back down. And that's what I'm expecting. But it's just going to be a matter of time. Here goes a liquidity push here again on the 10-minute. If you guys saw that, I marked it up right here. I mentioned if price hit this area, it's going to push up above it, and that's exactly what happened. So right there, if you guys took the liquidity push on the 10-minute, this is a higher time frame. You guys can see that it still works perfectly fine. Typically, you go for 100 pips on the 10-minute, I'd probably go for about 300 pips. So I'd probably go 300 pip TP. Stop loss would probably be 500, just give it some cushion. But yeah, right here on the 10-minute, it pushed right through it, and then now it's retracing back down. So you guys can use these liquidity pushes on other time frames. You don't have to use it on the 1 minute. It actually works pretty good on the 10-minute as well, because these areas of liquidity are a bit stronger. So there it goes. Other than that, let's see. Yeah, Medusa said pending V3 on all time frames. Yeah, so there was a pending V3 for this one right here, but it wouldn't fit the requirements because there's no bias. Sentiment and fundamentals still don't align. Yeah, I mean, technically there would be a V3 there. This is the one that Madhu is referring to. It's currently in drawdown right now if you're taking it, but this is what Madhu was referring to. I would have taken it if there was an overall bias, but there wasn't, so I can't take it. It doesn't fit the requirements. But yeah, if there was a sell bias, that would technically be the V3 right there. Question from Professor. Professor's asking, Sean, would you consider a 10-minute V3 sell given the fundamentals are so strong to the upside? Let me see how far the stop loss is. So probably not. The stop loss is just too tight. So if you go over here to the requirements, Professor, minimum stop loss of 300 pips on the 1 minute, 500 pips on the higher time frame. So you need a minimum stop loss of 500 pips here. It doesn't look like it's going to be at 500 pips, so it's probably one of the reasons why I wouldn't take it, because the requirements here haven't been met for these right here. Rick said, I'm riding with Biden, he'll push us out. Right. Yeah, Biden's Rick's hero. So he's just waiting for him to come on so he can dump price right back down eventually. I don't think Biden's speaking this week. I mean, he'll probably speak at some point. You know, Biden's just, he speaks randomly. I think Kenny sent me a link over here as well. Let's see what we got over here. Oh, yeah, you're right. So Kenny is right. He said, President Biden, he's going live in 5 hours. So there goes your catalyst, Rick. There goes your catalyst for the for Biden. I gotta make this thing smaller. It's take it on the whole screen. So Biden's speaking today later, actually. He's not on the news calendar, but he is going to be speaking later today at the it's at 5 hours, so 5 hours from now, probably around noon. He'll be going over COVID stuff. So that'd be something for you to possibly follow along with. Jonathan said, hope Biden is all right after he fell off his bike. LOL. Yeah, when I saw that video, I didn't think that video was real, because there were so many meme pages that already edited the video and made it look unreal. But yeah, it really did happen. That's crazy. He fell off the bike. Yeah, I saw that, I think on like Saturday morning or Friday morning. I thought it was a joke, but he really did fall off the bike. Let's see, question from Ross. Ross is asking, where can I see the requirements on my chart for each strategy? My requirements on here. So just go to the videos, or if you have the list of requirements, and you'll just type in whatever requirements right here, and then you can just save it. Once you save it, you can just click on it from here. So variation view 1 right there. Once you put it down there, just click on save as, and then it will you can save it as the name of the strategy, but it's not set on the chart for you. You have to do this on your own. You just type it up, and then you'll just save it as one of your text here, text templates with all of the requirements. A Steeler fan said he fell off the bike. The wagon is next. Right. The written, all the videos, Ross. So when you watch the videos, that's where the requirements are posted, and that's where you would get them. So if you watch any of the videos, the requirements are put on there. So that's where you, if you look in the chat, I think someone made a PDF or something with all of the requirements, but I don't know where it is specifically because I didn't create it. So if you, here, let me see if I can put, I know, Maddie, right? Let me see if the, yeah, I don't know where it's at. If you want to search the chat, you can probably find it, or ask in the chat, just pop into the chat, ask if anyone has the requirements. Someone posted it and I pinned it to one of the groups here, but we have a lot of pinned messages, so I don't know where it's at. Let me see if I can maybe find it here. You know, CC's the one that posted it. If you ask in the group, CC could probably give it to you. I can't remember where he put it though. But you can search in the group. Either search in the group. I think it'd be best if you actually watch the videos and learn it, because if someone gives you the requirements, you're not going to learn anything. You're just going to have the requirements there. If you actually watch the videos and write the requirements down yourself, you're kind of forcing yourself to learn the strategies. So that's the whole reason why I don't put the strategy requirements up, because I'm not trying to give anybody any shortcuts. If I give you guys a shortcut, you'll never learn, the strategies and whatnot. So the best option for you is to actually go through the videos and learn them, and then write them down as you learn them. That's the best way to learn it. But if you ask in the group, someone could probably give you the PDF. I don't have the PDF though. I purposely didn't put the requirements up so that people would be required to go and watch the videos. All right, other than that, let's see if there's anything else that I am missing. Yeah, let's see what else. Let me scroll real quick. Fahad said, if you go to June 8th on the premium announcements, they'll be there. Yeah, so thanks, Fahad. Ross, if you want to go do that, you can find it over here as well. You'll just go over to, you said June 8th. Yeah, a couple weeks ago. And if you scroll down from here, it has all the requirements right here. Oh, there, Peter just posted it in the, it's funny, both of the Peters. So Peter Carter said he posted it in the premium chat, and then also Peter Big Timer posted the actual PDF. So thanks, Peter and Peter for the assistance right there. So Peter posted in the Zoom, and then also the other Peter posted in the chat. I don't think this is right, Peter, the one that you posted, because this is from April. They've been updated since April, because we're like in June now. So this is actually not going to be it. Right here, this is probably a little older from Solo. But yeah, if you go over here and you just pull it up on that date, you can, I'll just put it over here real quick. Or I'll just forward it myself. I think you might have just copied the wrong one, Peter, which is okay. I know it's kind of confusing because different people created their own list of requirements. And I think you just got the older one from April. Yeah, there we go. Or you guys can download Peter's as well, whichever one you guys want. Anyways, back to the chart over here. There's not really much going on. It's still going back and forth. Price is coming up and retesting the news price right here. You want to be careful around this point, because if price gets to this point, you'll get one of two things. Price will either come up, retest it, and then bounce off, or price will break above it, continue pushing up higher. So scrolling up right here, Kenny currently locked in some nice profits. He's trading both ways, hitting the liquidity pushes, locked in a total profit of 1,687. Nice work, Kenny. Off this live session, Rick over here held that buy from earlier, locked in a total profit of 2,030. So nice work, Rick. Right there as well. Milzon over here took the liquidity pushes. He locked in a total profit of 800 or 381 off this account. And then his second account, 377. So nice work right there, Milzon. Kenny again over here, 1,687. And other than that, I think that's it for right now. I did take one trade last night, guys, so I'll post up. Let me post this up over here. I just took a liquidity push yesterday for a sell. Or actually not liquidity push. I forgot what I took. I took like a V1, I think. But I had to pull out early because I realized that there was no bias. So I'll post up what I got over here. I think they were all about the same. So let me check real quick. Yeah, all of my FTMO, all my MFFs actually are all the same. So I took a partial profit yesterday. Okay, so here are the profits that I locked in yesterday or last night during Asia session. I just locked in like a quick profit. This is my FTMO main account. You can see the green strip here. I let it hit TP. I had to move my CP in profit because, so this is what I was talking about, guys. Like sometimes you'll take trades and then you'll realize that there is no overall bias. Instead of being greedy and just taking the full move, I just pulled out early. I locked in 360. It was supposed to be 1,000, but I locked in 360 because there was no overall bias. Here's my copier. You can see there's no green strip. It's a different account, 360 as well. And these are my MFF accounts, 360 as well. So last night I took these trades. These are just session. And you guys can see here that, you know, this is a discipline that I have when I take these trades. I know sometimes you guys will take like trades where they're like, they don't fit the requirements and then you just kind of pray that it hits your TP. You guys can do that. But for me personally, if it doesn't meet the requirements, I'll pull out as soon as possible so that I can avoid having any possible losses. For me, maybe it's just me trying to be a perfectionist where, you know, I don't like losing trades. But I think that's probably the safest way to trade. Like if it doesn't meet your requirements, pull out and profit, or at least move your stop loss in profit. Because it's better to be more confident with your position rather than taking, you know, random trades and getting lucky. Because anybody could get lucky trading, and I'm sure you guys know that. Like you guys can take a random sell and you'll win. Sometimes you'll take a random buy and you'll win. But you know how lucky can you get until your luck runs out? So for me personally, if that ever happens to you guys, I'd recommend just pulling out early. But currently right now, let's see if there's anything else that that I'm looking at. There's not really much going on here. You can see price is just going sideways again. It's pretty much where it was earlier. So here's the clean chart. I will mark up the same thing I did earlier. So you can see that price is now just ranging between these areas right here. It's just ranging back and forth between this point and this point, up here and below here. And not really much going on. So let me just scroll up real quick and see what else I'm missing. Yeah, Maddie said sitting on my hands today. More than happy I sat out. Yeah, same here. It's just too risky to be taking these these random moves. Yeah, Fernando said accounts are getting blown today. Glad to be sitting out too. Yeah, no, same here, guys. I mean, this is why I was telling you guys to be patient because there's no direction set. If price was pushing up, like, so this is what I would take. If price was pushing up, it retraced down, confirmed, and kept pushing up, then yeah, I would take some buys there. Vice versa, if price was pushing down, retraced up, and then pushed down further, I would be taking sells there as well. Currently, right now, there's no direction. Price kind of just goes back and forth. Market opened right here at 630. Price faked out to the bottom side, pushed up, came back down, pushed up, and now it's ranging sideways. I can see liquidity getting built down here. For me personally, I might even take like this liquidity right here. Looks pretty solid. So I might be looking for a possible liquidity push for a sell right here. The only reason I'm looking for a sell is because the retail sentiment is really my initial, like this is going to be the main bias that I'm looking for. The fundamentals here are overextended. I think this is going to come back down. You can see it's up 523 points, way too overextended. These are like COVID numbers. Typically, these numbers don't go up past 500 unless like something crazy is going on in the market. There's nothing crazy going on today aside from us coming back from a long holiday weekend. So what I do expect is that price is going to come back down because it is currently 67% long. As you can see, a lot of these people are pulling out. So earlier it was 69% long. You can see that a lot of people have identified that this is overextended, right? So now that people realize that there's too much, like the price is probably not going to keep pushing up. A lot of people here who are on the sell side or the buy side, they pulled out because this was 69% long, indicating that 69% of retail traders were buying. Now that they're like, oh shit, price is probably going to come down, they pulled out and now they're just sitting or they're moved on to the short side. They either shifted to the short side or they're just sitting and waiting now and waiting for that confirmation. So again, right here, another area of liquidity. There was liquidity down there, also liquidity up here. I wasn't really looking to take any buy liquidity though, but if you did take that right there, there was another liquidity push right there for a buy, and it already hit its full TP. If you guys took it, I'm not looking to take any risks here, so I'm not looking to take any buys at all. I'm pretty much anticipating price to come back down. I don't know when it'll happen, but I think eventually it will happen. The price makes its way right back to the downside. Yeah, Maddie said, I wouldn't even feel good winning a trade today because it's all 50-50. I think that's another thing people need to realize. When they take trades that are gambles, it creates false confidence, which eventually leads to blown accounts. And I agree with you too, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie just mentioned that. And I agree with that too. Because the thing is, if you guys take lucky trades and you guys win, you guys will be confident and think that, you can't lose. And then eventually when the luck runs out, that's where you think back to it and you're like, damn, like what was I even taking? Because it's happened to me too before in the past where I've taken trades and I've had a hot streak where I just take trades off the top of my head. And then I made a lot of profit. But then when I have that loss, I'm like, damn, like, I don't even know what I was taking when I was taking all those wins. I was kind of just flowing with the market, which is cool sometimes, but you have to learn when to stop. Because sometimes people will go into they'll get into an addiction where they just keep over trading and revenge trading. And then that's when it leads to the, blown accounts. So let me scroll up real quick. Kenny said just copied the KC strategies in my electronic notes on his iPad. Nice, Kenny. Maddie said if sentiment stays long, I can see it drop throughout the week. I can see it too. Rick mentioned today's a total pullback day before another drop to the abyss tomorrow, I think. Yeah, and I agree too, Rick. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I think this is just going to be a temporary push to the upside. Price might even start dropping once we get to the midway of the market. So once we get closer to like, say 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, price might start to consolidate and possibly come back down. That's something that I'd be looking out for. I think when price starts to come back down, it's going to come back and retest opening price. So that's going to be a pretty big drop. Might not happen right now, but eventually I do think it's going to come back down and come back to open, because it hasn't come back to open yet. Yeah, Rick said I'm coming back today at 11 a.m. for sells possibly too. Yeah, and that's exactly what why, I mean, I don't do it because I don't take trades like that. But if I was to take something riskier, then yeah, I do expect it to come back down, because if you measure it from where price currently is, I mean, it's not super far, but it is pretty far. Like, it's manageable. It's 1,290 pips. So if you mark up liquidity on the bottom side, because there's going to be liquidity that's built up. I think this is the main area of liquidity right here. When liquidity gets hit, it's probably going to drop even further to come down and test the opening price right there. Yeah, no, exactly, Rick. And I agree with you 100%. I do think that's going to happen. Maybe I'll even trade on my phone. I'll follow it, see. But yeah, that is definitely where I see it coming and going. Oh, man, let's see. I was kind of hoping to take some trades today, but I'm going to be on the safe side. I'm going to wait. I'll be looking for liquidity pushes to the downside though, because when price does come below, I think price is going to drop further. Let me take a look at the fundamentals. Fundamentals are still up super high. Looking over here at CNBC, if there's any updates. Okay, so there's an update right here. It says Dow jumps 500 points as markets rebound from a brutal week. This was from yesterday. I think price is going to make its way down though, probably by tomorrow, if not the following day. See, Hugo over here, nice. So Hugo actually took the trade earlier. He held it from earlier. It looks like he took this around the breakout. So Hugo took the breakout earlier, and he just held it and let it push super high, locked in a total profit of 5,540. So great work right there, Hugo. His entry point was at 636. So like a little bit after the breakout. Looks like this is the same trade that you took, Rick, but he held it until he hit his TP, and he locked in a total profit of 5,540. So nice work, Hugo, on that. That's what it looks. Breakout area. Yeah, so nice work, Hugo. Hugo like trusts the breakout. Like whenever he sees a breakout like that, he has like an edge in the market. He holds on to it for a while. Like he did that the last week too. So here on the 16th, he did the same thing. He pretty much held it from the breakout, and then he locked in a heavy profit of 4,868. This was like last week, and then today he did the same thing. He held it from the breakout and just kept, waiting for it to push up. So nice work, Hugo. Rick said, I didn't say trade on your phone. Yeah, I don't recommend people, if you guys have to, then, you don't have an option. But I don't recommend people trade on their phone, because when you trade on your phone, it's super difficult to set your TP stop loss. I like the DOM because you can just take the trade and let it run. But yeah, trading on your phone is super dangerous and not really highly recommended. Milzon said, I need to take Rick to the casino to play craps, LOL. I know, right? Rick could be your lucky charm. Let's see what else we got over here. Maddie over here, he caught some profits over here as well. Locked in a total profit of 1,518. Nice work, Maddie. You saved your profits from Asia session. Dimitri over here as well, locked in a total profit of 1,841. Nice work, Dimitri. Yeah, it looks like he was just waiting for these sells here. So looking at his trades here, he waited for these sells and he caught them as they came down. So if you trade in the direction of bias, I think my bias, long-term bias, is going to be a sell. If you can just wait for those entries, I mean, you can lock in some pretty solid profits. I mean, if you look over here, there was a couple, technically a V3 right here. If there was a bias, there wasn't a bias, but if you took a V3 there, you could still lock in some solid profit. But as you guys can see right here, there's a lot of liquidity that's building up. There's liquidity right there. If it creates another area of liquidity over here as well, then I can expect it to drop even further. And that's basically what I'm looking for myself. Realistically, you just have to wait for one good trade. If you could find one good trade, that could pretty much be it for today. For me personally, I just need one good trade, because if I take one good trade for 100 pips, I can lock in. I could lock in, a solid 1,000 per account, and that's pretty much good for me. But yeah, Natasha said, yes, it is. I have to trade on my phone when at work, so it's extremely hard. Yeah, I know it's super hard. Because the thing moves so fast. Like you can enter a trade, and then like a few seconds later, you're in drawdown, or you're in some heavy profit, and you can't pull out because you're on your phone and it's moving too slow. So I agree with you too, Natasha. I used to do that before too when I used to work at my normal job. So I mean, most of you guys know how I used to trade before. When I used to work as an attorney and I was in my office, I had to trade on my phone, and it was difficult, but I did make it happen. We also weren't scalping; we were trading intraday, so it was a bit easier to trade on your phone if you're trading on the higher time frames, because you have time to set your TP stop loss. But for scalping, it's almost near impossible unless you're like really, really focused on your phone. Yeah, Hugo said I don't trade on my phone, just the screenshots. Yeah, I can't do it either. Some more profits over here. Patrick over here locked in a total profit of 6,420. Nice work, Patrick. Solid profits right there. Other than that, I think that's it for right now. Let me see if there's anything else here for us to. Let's see, Jonathan said the phone is my favorite. Well, the Dom has been super helpful with 100 pips, creates way less greed. Yeah, no, and I agree too, Jonathan. It makes a huge difference when you use that, because it'll automatically pull you out with profit rather than you holding on to it. I was looking if that was an area of liquidity, but it looks like it wasn't really established yet. It's kind of surprising that price is still right here. It's been 30 minutes. This is news price right here at 7 o'clock. So it's been 30 minutes and price is like kind of still where it was at 30 minutes ago. It's now pushing up slightly, and it's starting to kind of produce that one pattern that we was talking about earlier, where price starts to range with structure in between. So here's the high, here's the low. This is the midway point. I think price is now going to continue to range. It's going to come back down, just bounce between this pink line right here. And then it's going to squeeze. Once it's done squeezing, it's going to break out one direction or the other. My guess is that it's going to break out to the downside. What I'm looking for personally is I'm looking for price to come down to right here, not touch the line and push back up. So if it does that, it will create liquidity right here, so that when it does come back down another time, I can take that for a sell and caught my quick 100 pips right there. Right. So here we go. As price comes back down, it's kind of doing what I was anticipating. I'm hoping it comes down and it just creates a lower liquidity here and then swings back up, so that I can catch the liquidity push later, or maybe it'll break right through. Who knows? See where it goes from here. Thanks, Peter. Peter said in 25 minutes, Fed member Mester is going to be speaking. Yes, so we have Fed member Mester speaking at 9 o'clock. I think it's in an hour, Peter. Yeah, so it's actually an hour 25. when he speaks. Well, we'll be off the live session by then, so it's not really going to affect us. Or maybe I'm wrong. Let me check I'm not sure where you're looking at the news. Oh, Barkin. Okay, so Fed member Barkin is actually speaking in 25 minutes. This is the one that he was. So we have Barkin speaking in 24 minutes, and then we have Mester speaking a little later today. Or I don't know, it's weird. It says Barkin for both, but on the on Forex Factory it says Mester. So Forex Factory says Mester at 9 o'clock. On my FX book it says Barkin at 8 o'clock. Either or, it doesn't matter. It's still the Fed, so it doesn't matter who's talking. It's going to affect the market. Perfect. Yeah, Maddie. So this is exactly what I was looking for. I was waiting for it to create liquidity, and it did just that. All right. So what I'm looking for here, guys, is I'm looking for price to come back down and retest this area. If price comes down and tests that area, then I'll probably take it for a quick little push. See if I could maybe set like a sell stop or something right there. Let's see. I hate putting this thing in manually. Wish there was a DOM where you can just hit a sell stop with the DOM. I mean, there's probably a way to do it, but I just haven't figured it out yet. All right, so I'm going to be looking out for this area right here. It's fine if price bounces around this area. I don't want it to come down and test it anyways just yet. I want it to test it eventually, but I'm looking for a possible liquidity push. Right through there eventually. So it doesn't have to happen right away, but that's the liquidity that I'm looking for. I'm just looking for a sell because the sentiment here is still indicating a sell. Looks like the fundamentals here are going to start making its way. It's starting to weaken a little bit, but not really. It's still above 500 points. But eventually I do see it too. Looks like a lot of people aren't getting lured in. So that's why it keeps pushing up higher, because the sentiment isn't changing. So typically you want this to be like 70% or more. If you can have that, then it's probably going to be a big, strong bias to the downside. But we just don't have that yet. I still think today's just a setup. They're just setting up for tomorrow. So I think the market makers, institutions are setting up. I think they're going to keep pushing price up so that people will buy into this and they'll chase this buy, because eventually people are going to chase it, right? People are going to FOMO and they're going to chase into chase these buys. But the thing that you want to look out for is when the buys run out, because eventually it's going to run out. It's overextended. You guys can see here, it's been pushing up for a long time now. Going over here to the 10-minute. So price has been pushing up for a buy for about, let me see, for about a full day, a day and 13 hours. So it might be about 2 days. So this is as far as I see it pushing up. 2 days up until tomorrow market open, or tomorrow London. So this is probably as far as I see it pushing up, and I do expect it to come back down eventually. Because it's just too overextended. There's no reason for it to come up. We're going into a recession. There's no, unless like there's like clear manipulation. I mean, during COVID, that was like clear manipulation. There's no reason for price to be going up, and price kept going up. For the recession, I don't think it's going to be the same. It's the same case. I think price will be making its way down. Peter's asking, is your sell stop entry? My sell stop is at, and this is MC4 price. This isn't trading view price. My MC4 sell stop is at 30,428.48. So it's a little higher than yours. 30,428.48. I'll see where price goes. I mean, if it doesn't end up coming back down, then I'll just cancel it. 740 right now. I don't like taking trades after 8. So if it doesn't come back down anytime soon, then I will probably just cancel it. We got liquidity building up on the top side again as well over here. Rick said I keep making money on buys. I got to walk away. Yeah, probably a good decision if this ends up swinging back down. So create another area of liquidity right there. I'm still not convinced to take any buys yet. I don't want to get caught in this, obviously the fake outs and whatnot. So let's see. I don't really see anything over here. Here you go. Price makes its way back down. So it's doing exactly what I was just telling you guys, right? So earlier I mentioned price is going to range between this area and this area. It's going to just keep going sideways where this pink line is. And that's exactly what's happening. Price pushed up, pushed down, pushed back up, and then it's probably going to push back down now. It's professor's asking, Sean, I would like to make a recommendation. When you set a sell stop, when you set a stop order, can you tell us the price on your stop like you just did? Yeah, I mean, I could let you know, but typically I don't take those types of trades. And if I do, it happens too quickly for me to even tell you guys anything. So the easiest way is to just look at your MT4 chart. You're just matching this candle. So this candle right here, you can see where it's wicking off right here, like the wick. You're just looking at your MT4 chart. It's the same exact candle, and you can see where the sell stop is. The thing with me letting you guys know is that it happens too fast. So if we have the opportunity, yeah, I'll let you guys know. But most of the time, we don't have the opportunity because I'm usually just entering a DOM entry. The only time I'll enter a sell stop is if it's like, if there's like the opportunity where prices not come back down that fast, because sometimes it'll push up like for like maybe 2 or 3 candles, and then all of a sudden it comes crashing down like right away. So we don't really have time to set it up. And that's why a lot of times I just hit the DOM anyways. But yeah, in the future, if I do set one, I'll try to let you guys know. But just keep in mind, I rarely use sell stops, like ever, because most of the strategies are set off candle close. This is just for the liquidity pushes. So we'll see if it comes back down. I mean, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It is 7:43 right now. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. If you guys didn't attend the mentoring session yesterday, we had the mentoring session on Monday yesterday. So if you guys want to rewatch that, it's all available on the YouTube. And if you guys are wondering like how we apply these liquidity entries, it's all explained in like the past live session. So if you go to the YouTube channel or the past mentoring sessions, so this is what the YouTube channel looks like. If you go to video over here, basically any video here with the green background is going to be the mentoring session. So if you go back and watch these right here with the green background, basically all of the most recent ones are probably the past 5 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I explain this liquidity push in general. So that's where you would find the requirements, or not necessarily requirements, but what we're looking for when we're taking these specific trades like this one right here, which is considered a liquidity push. But other than that, I don't really see anything else going on here. Let's see if price comes back down. If it doesn't, then I'm just going to cancel my self stop. If it does, then great. I'll just hold on to it. But you guys can kind of see price is starting to taper off right here. So this area right here, price is starting to taper off a bit. as it makes its way to the liquidity that we drew up. But we'll see if that actually happens. So here's a clean chart. Let me go ahead and mark this or clean this up a little bit. There we go. With that right there. Let's see if there's anything else over here. So I took this trade for audio, not this one right here. I took this one over here actually. I took this odd USD sell from the other day. And I locked in about 500 bucks off this trade. The reason why I didn't take this one over here, I did mark it up, but I didn't take it was because there was high impact news right here. So that's why I didn't take this one. But for this one over here, I did take this. It went into some drawdown, but it eventually hit TP right there this morning. It did go through high impact news as well, but and that's kind of why I had this choppiness. But then eventually it did hit its TP. So this was me applying the trade here for the intraday strategy for the forex pairs. If you guys want to see this too, I went over this in yesterday's mentoring session. So basically, I've been taking some set and forget odd USD trades. I've been importing basically my analysis, or not really analysis, but the way that I analyze a US30 over to forex pairs, and I've just been taking trades like that as well. So if you guys are wondering for that, I look over at this right here, which has pretty much other assets. I look for anything that has over 70%. So like, for example, odd USD right here, it was 70% long. So I did the opposite. I took a sell yesterday for this trade, and then I hit my TP. The thing that you want to be careful for is going to be news. So you don't want to trade around news price. There's a lot of news here. So typically you want to try to get in and out rather quickly if you have the opportunity. Looking at the chart over here again, let's see if there's another one. GU. So GU is currently 73% long. So that's probably going to be the next one that I'm looking to take today. I'm looking for, so we don't really have a sell entry that's coming up. In order for me to take a sell, we need to have a sell momentum signal. It needs to match up with the trend meter down here. So if I get this right here, then yeah, I'm going to take that for a trade. Something like that. But we don't have that because the trend meter is currently green right now. Let's see. Kodi said I took a loss on AU and gold on demo, of course. Took the 1 minute sell on 1 hour sell. Which one did you take, Kodi? Did you take the one that I just mentioned? The one where I said I didn't take? So this one right here, I didn't take this one because the news was coming up. I took this one because news was kind of far and I just held on to it. Yeah, a few hours ago, which is right here. Yeah, this is the one. So there was high impact news right there, medium impact news right here. So that's one that you should have avoided. You can see price was coming down, but when the news happened right here, so I'll just mark up the news price. You can see this is where price reversed, right? So price was coming down. So you were correct in identifying the down. So the first candle did drop pretty nice. And then when the news happened right here, it pushed up, right? The other news right here happened and then it pushed up even higher. So that's why you want to avoid the news. The only reason I took this one right here was because the news didn't happen for like a while. So I took this one right here. News didn't come for like 12 hours. So that's why I took this one here. And I just held on to it. I should have closed out when it was down here, getting close to news price, but I just held on to it. And then I woke up this morning and then I made profit. So I just have 10,000 in this account. You can see my account balance right now is 10,368. That was from that one trade. This is my personal account. I took that trade for, I think, 3 or 5% risk. I only made about 300 off it, which is fine. It hit my TP. But yeah, the thing that you want to look out for is going to be news, because you're going to get a lot of manipulation where news is. It works differently for Forex because there's more news that happens for Forex in comparison to US30. Man, this thing just shot up. I think I'm going to have to cancel my sell stop right here, guys. Price is too far above. I don't expect it to come down anytime soon. So I've deleted my sell stop right there. I think eventually price will come down, but Not at this very moment. So other than that, I don't really see anything else for us to take right here. Let me see if there's any other forex pairs that I can possibly hop into. No, not really. Yeah, there's nothing to take right now. Check on the higher time frames. I want to take on. I would like to trade on the higher time frames, but the news here is just there's so much news. If you look over here, it's like almost impossible to avoid news. Like this would have been a sell right here, which could have been okay, but it was followed by a bunch of news. So I think the 1 hour might be probably the best option. Anyways, back to US30. There's nothing here to take at the moment. Price is still pushing up. I do think price is going to push back down, but I think currently right now it's still pushing up. There just isn't, it hasn't hit the top yet. You kind of see how price is a little, it's faking out in both directions. So like, for example, right here, you're going to get a certain type of people who are looking for the top, like what we're kind of doing right now. We're waiting for it to hit the top. And then you're going to get other people who are looking for the opposite, where they're trying to catch it as it pushes up higher. One way to identify where possible bounce will happen would be to turn on the K2SR indicator. I go here on the 1 hour. All right, so looks like this might be the next area of, that's too far out. Let me go on the 30-minute. All right, so price is actually at a resistance right now. Price might be coming down from this point here. So if you're waiting for the reversal, what you could do, and what I typically do sometimes, is I'll turn on the K2SR version 2 indicator so I can draw structure. So I go back to the 1 minute, and you can see right here that it's actually rejecting off the 30-minute resistance. So maybe this is where it tumbles back down. And if you guys sat in on the mentoring session yesterday, this is like something that I covered as well. You guys can use other indicators here to identify where rejection points can happen. So the K2SR indicator identifies where possible rejections can happen. And you guys can see right here. So for example, we have this area of rejection right here, right? And if you were trading at that point, so like say, for example, you were to replay from here, and you already know that the high is right there. So you let price come around, and then it bounces right off right there. If it comes back up for the retest right here, you can see where the bounce is likely to happen right off that line. Price comes up to that point and bounces off, comes right back down. Comes back for another retest right here. Comes to that same point. Or not at that point right there specifically, but you guys can kind of see like how these come into play and becomes useful if you're looking for a bias in a certain direction. So again, right here, I drew that line. You can see where it rejected directly off, specifically off that resistance off the 30-minute. Damn, Shan said someone I know just blew their account on US30. Yeah, they're probably looking to take some sells, right? They're trying to catch that high. Good thing it wasn't you, Shannon. Just, be patient. So there you go. There goes an example right there. This market is just too crazy right now to be taking anything too risky. Unless you like really know where price is going, then yeah, great. But if you don't, it's just, it's not a good time and place to be trading. Yeah, Shannon said, yes, I'm in awe, no trades today, which is good. I mean, same with me. I took a trade last night, but nothing for me this morning. Maddie said, I have a 5-minute and 15-minute supply between 30,562 which is, yeah, slightly above. Right there. And 30,643. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so Maddie has supply basically um, in the same area where we drew. It's just a little higher. So you might be able to see a bounce in the next couple hours or so if price does bounce off your supply. Nice. David said, I'm starting a 100K FTMO challenge. Nice, David. Good luck with your challenge. Hopefully you pass it on your first attempt. Hopefully you just have a hot winning streak for a whole week or for a couple of days, and then you just pass it right away. That's probably the best feeling when you pass it within like a week or so. But yeah, no rush. I mean, if you do take the, if you guys do take the 100K, or any account for any sake, there's no need to rush, right? Just make sure you take quality trades and you pass. That's really going to be key. Me yawning during this live. If you guys remember from before, whenever I yawn during the lives, that's how you know the market's like super dead. Because like usually people are stressed out or they're like looking for something good to take. There's just nothing good to take right now. There's nothing off the 10. There's nothing off the 5, nothing off the 3, nothing off the 1. Even if we were to see anything good off the 1, like a V3 right here, it wouldn't matter because the fundamentals are still up almost 600 points. With price up so high today, I think there's going to be a pretty big tumble tomorrow when Powell speaks, because this is just, it's way too overextended. There's no reason for it to be up this high. There really wasn't any good news today. I mean, aside from people buying the dip, that's pretty much it. But other than that, we'll see. I don't think price is gonna swing back up yet. It might be a temporary push to the upside, but I don't think it's gonna be anything too crazy for the obvious reasons. The economy is not doing well. Interest rates are up. Recession is coming in. People are getting laid off. Unemployment is up. I think overall, I think tomorrow price is going to make its way back down. So let's see. Question from David. David said, I'm using a 10 lot. I don't know if that's high. Yeah, that's very high. I use a 10 lot, but I'm on a 200K account, David. So you should probably be using a 5 lot max. Even a smaller lot size if your stop loss is wider. If you're using a 300 pip stop loss, then a 5 lot is okay. If you're using anything bigger than a 300 pip stop loss, then you should be using something smaller. It just depends on where your stop loss is. That's how you're going to determine the risk. Akil is asking, Sean, what's the rectangle tool called? It's called rectangle. So if you go right here, click on rectangle, you draw that. And then for this here, this is normally what it would look like. It'll just look like that, right? Rectangle. If you want it to extend to the left, go into the settings, extend left. If you want to extend to the right, click extend right, and then it'll extend all the way to the right end. That's how you would find the rectangle tool. Yeah, no problem. I know a lot of people don't realize that there's that function where you can have it go across the screen. It's super useful because it pretty much just marks up like a whole zone instead of having to drag it all the way. David said he's aiming for 1K daily. Yeah, no, that's possible, David. I mean, for you, that's probably 2 trades. For me, that's 1 trade because I could take a 10 lot. So I just take 1 trade. Or for you on 100K, you're doing half of that. So you'll make maybe 500 per trade, which I mean, it's not too bad. You just need to look for 2 solid trades. Yeah, exactly. You need to win twice in a row. Yeah. And just make sure that when you're doing that, you're looking for high quality trades, right? You're not just taking every single trade. Because if you look for high quality trades, it's not that difficult to find just 2. Like for me personally, I'm looking for maybe just 1 good trade. There was a bunch of liquidity pushes to the upside, which I could have taken, but I didn't take them because I thought it was risky. But you're just really looking for that. Like for example, if you're looking for a liquidity push, you can literally just focus on this area right here and just wait for it to come down, because eventually it's going to come down. And when it does come down and it hits this point, I'm expecting it to break right through. So if I look for something, it's probably going to be for this liquidity push, and I'm going to be taking that for just a quick 100 pips. The quick 100 pips will lock me in 1,000 per account, so that will be pretty solid across 5 of my accounts. So, all right, guys, it's 8 o'clock. There's nothing for us to take right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or message me through Telegram. Otherwise, I don't think today's really a good day to trade. Today's just a day to possibly just wait for the market to really set up for the next couple of days, with Powell speaking tomorrow, unemployment claims coming out the day after, and inflation news as well. So for the most part, I would just sit out the market, guys. I don't see anything good to take right now. I'm not taking anything myself, so I'm just going to sit out. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we'll be back here tomorrow for the next live session. I'll probably be looking for this area as we get closer to mid-market. But I think at the moment, I'm just going to sit out and probably just watch from a distance, because I'm not looking to take anything too risky. So other than that, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow for the next live session. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will be back here, same place, same time tomorrow.